Hello everyone and welcome back to Riverbend Springs. We are here by our grass fields, and as you can see it is time to get it mowed. We are doing silage once again, and I had a bit of a think about our lime situation. Since we were trying to apply it in the first growth stage, didn't apply, but I'm wondering if we try to apply it after we mow it, if we'll have better luck. So we'll be trying that. But first of all, we need to get this mowed and baled, so we can jump in our John Deere. We just had it serviced, so it's all ready to go. So we can get the mowers attached, and looks like there's some nice progress on the shed. Let's go take a look. Yes, we have a frame structure. So we will have to deliver some more materials later on. But yes, let's get to the mowing. Let's get these fired up. And away we go. So I will get this field all mowed up, and I will see you then. There we go, that's all mowed up. So we can get these windrows. Now I'm really hoping that our lime idea is gonna work, since the extra gains would be nice, and I don't quite wanna rip this whole thing up and get it redrilled with grass or even something else. But that might be an idea. But we have such a nice profit from our silage that I don't think we'll be able to match it if we plow this up and start growing grains. Yes, let's get swapped over to the windrower and get this all rolled up. looks like we're almost out of bale wrap, and we are running low on the net as well. So I think we should park up our baler here, grab our small trailer and head on over to the store and get some more wrap and net. There we go, that set us back $5,100. That's right, we should get a fair few bales out of these 2 pallets. So let's get this loaded onto our baler. And there we go, now we can head on to the field and get it all baled up. So I will see you when we're done. Guess we'll be making white bales for a while. 33 bales in total, not bad at all. So next step is getting these collected, and then we can take a look at our lime situation. If we can lime over the freshly cut grass, because we know when it's grown at one stage we won't be able to lime it. So hopefully we can do it after we get these picked up. So we'll get that done and I will see you then. Here we go, moment of truth. Let's get this fired up. Yes, there we go. We have a lime on our grass. I'll just stop real quick, get the GPS set, and we'll get this all limed up. And there we go. Again, about a spreader's worth of lime. Now we are just gonna empty out the rest here, so it doesn't clog up our spreader being stored, since we won't have to spread lime on either of our fields in a while. So until we get some new fields, or in a couple of years, we have to use this again. So we're just making sure that in the meantime it doesn't clog up and makes a hassle for us once we want to use it again. And there we go. So we can get our gates back down. Now we can get this parked up, and then we can move on to fertilizing this. Now we should be able to see this time around where we've already fertilized, as the lime makes it fairly obvious. So we'll get the fertilizing done, and I will see you then. And that's the fertilizing done as well. So we should see some nice yields out of this next time around. We'll come back and take a look at the stats. So next up are some odd jobs around the yard. We have to get our milled lumber into storage, and we also need to deliver some long planks to Grandpa Walter for his shed project. So yes, some quick front loader work around the yard. So we'll get that done, and I'll see you then. And there we go. We got our mill lumber in our shed. And the long planks to Grandpa Walter. Yes, looks like he's using it as siding for a shed. Very nice. Coming along nicely. We also got our log trailer unloaded. And I was wondering how we'd do that, but looked like it was easy to just get our grab in between these holes here and get the logs off that way. So yes, much easier than I was expecting. So next time I'm not sure what we'll do, if we'll go to the woods and get that pile of logs sorted out, or if we'll go ahead with some contract work. But yes, if you have a preference, let me know down in the comments. As well as if you have any tips, tricks or suggestions. If you like today's episode, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time.